is not necessarily living its best life in here. Ooh, if you could trade your collection with anyone else's, whose would it be? What's the definition of aoid? Look at those roots. Those are so good. Don't want to throw off my groove. We do our hobbies well. It grows. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be potting up a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like I have a lot of propagations that I need to pot up. I need to upsize some things, put some stuff in semi-hydro, and show some new things as well, because I got some plants at another plant swap Manchester the other day. I didn't bring anything, but I got some stuff back. It always happens, I don't know how. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen today. Before we get into it though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanting content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanting journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not new here, welcome back. I appreciate you returning. And let's just get straight into it. So I am gonna clear this a little bit. I always do this. I put a bunch of plants on the table because I feel like it looks better to have like a more interesting frame, and then I need to go in and move them all by the time I start, so I have like a clear surface and a clear brain. So the first thing I think the thing that makes the most sense to do first is actually show y'all what I got from the plant swap, because someone actually asked that. I forgot to say, this is going to be a Repot Chat Q&A. I asked y'all over on Instagram to ask me some questions, and one of the questions was, did you get anything from the swap? And I actually did. I came home with lots of begonias, actually. Y'all know that is my current obsession, and some more wish list-ish plants as well. So the first one I have is what I think is a Begonia thurstonii. That being said, it was not labeled, it was just labeled begonia, but to me it does look like a thurstonii. I think it's just the sort of really shiny, leathery leaves makes me think that. And it is a little bit battered. I think it definitely didn't like the journey back to home, its new home, I guess, because it had to go in a box and that was not ideal for it. But it is quite a large cutting and it has just been in some sphagnum moss. I have no idea whether or not this is rooted or not, but I'm gonna go through all of these and then we can start like sorting them out together as well. But it's just in sphagnum moss at the minute. I don't know if it's a fresh cut or what. I don't particularly see any roots, but maybe there are some in here. Either way, I'd probably want to root it in water because I probably want to put it into semi-hydro. So there's that. Oh, also that one was from the free table. This one is a Begonia grandis, which looks kind of like a Rexish type, but these leaves, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but they look matte, but they are secretly like iridescent in there. Maybe I'll have to film a bit with my phone in the flash so you can see that they are iridescent, but I saw it and it looked like a fun one to try. I'm not normally into these sort of like lime greeny colored plants, but we're trying new things here and it's a plant swap, and so that's the best we can do. That one was given to me by the guy Jack. I've got this one, which is a Bonia Ice Frost, which I'm so excited about because I have my white ice and I love that one. This one, I feel like it's very similar, but instead of being so pointy on the tops, it's really round in its leaf shape, but it's still got those really lovely silver polka dots. And again, this one is just in sphagnum moss. I don't know whether or not it is rooted. That one was just given to me as a gift as well. I mean, essentially these were all gifts. And then these ones, I am like, I cannot believe this person was so incredibly generous. But I was given a bunch of variegated Thanksgiving cactus cuttings that I get to propagate. I'm just like, I cannot believe this person was so generous in giving me so many of these cuttings. They are looking a little bit thirsty, but that's just because they don't have roots on them. So I'm going to try to pop them just into soil like I would with sort of any of my other jungle cacti, because the last time I feel like I made the mistake of putting them into water, and I feel like, I don't think it was the wrong thing to do, but it went against my instincts because I've had so much success putting them straight into like soil with jungle cacti. Not necessarily Christmas cacti or Thanksgiving cacti, holiday cacti, whatever you want to call them. Not necessarily those, but with my Ripsalis and like epiphyllums and stuff, just going straight into soil has worked really, really well for them, for me. So that is what we will do to start us off, and we can just get going with it. So yeah, that was the first question that was asked. And yes, I did pick some stuff up. I forever feel so grateful to people at the plant swap, because at these swaps that I am traveling to that are like not very close to London, like I'm obviously not bringing plants because it doesn't make sense for me to carry them up with me. I don't have like space to do such, and I still end up walking away with plants all the time, and I don't know how, but it just happens. So hopefully some of these stick in this soil here and we can get them to root and be happy and lovely, and I can grow a big variegated Thanksgiving cactus, because that's all I want in this freaking world. I mean, not all I want in the world, but a big portion of what I want in the world right now is to have a variegated Christmas cactus actually work for me. The one cutting I have in my cabinet still hasn't died off or anything, so it's not like I've lost that one yet, but it's just, the more chances I have, the better it will likely succeed. So not mad about getting some more. Ooh, this is a juicy one. I don't know if it'll be a hot take or not, but someone's asked, is there a popular plant you think is overhyped? It depends on you're saying, popular or like rare and desired plants, because I feel like there are lots of desired plants that I don't really care that much for. One that's coming to like the top of my mind, or that I can think of off the top of my head, is the Monstera Burlemark's Flame. Like I don't, like, it's cool, but I don't really care. And I don't know if that's, if it's just me or what, but it like doesn't look that different to other Monsteras. I don't know if that's a hot take. Also, I think we're over, in general as a community now, as plant people, pink princesses. That was a plant that was hugely overhyped, and I fell into the trap and I hated it the entire time. So glad that I don't have any of those anymore. But in general, I feel like things are fairly adequately hyped. I don't think there's anything, I guess some like hybrid anthuriums are overhyped. I don't feel like I need to get all of the hybrid anthuriums that are out there, because there's so many different ones out there. And it's like, sounds bad, but like after a while they all kind of look the same. And I know they're not, and I know there is variety within them. I get it, but at the same time, they all look the same to me. So, sorry, hot take, but just popped all of these in the soil there, and I'm gonna make sure I give this a good water. I might actually put this underneath a cloche, or in a cup or something where I can keep it slightly more humid, just to help encourage the roots grow on that one, because I think it will benefit from that greatly. Let's pull out this begonia now. I'm kind of hoping that these are fresh cuts. Please be fresh cut, please be fresh cut. Okay, even though you're not a fresh cut, it's fine. Ha ha ha. Because I'm pretty sure you were water propagated. Yes. But like, it's really inconvenient to bring water propagations to the plant swap because like, no one's gonna bring a cup of water. It just doesn't quite make sense. But this guy is rooted in here. We got some good roots, which is good. And I can probably put this one directly into some semi-hydro. Let me really quick first unwrap the other one. This one I think I'm gonna leave in soil for now. Just to see, just to like keep trying with it because I'm not sure whether or not, I feel like it looks happy enough for now. And I just have to keep an eye on it and make sure that I am watering it enough. Someone's asked if I want more tattoos, and the answer is yes. Lately I have been not like craving, but I've been like putting together outfits, and with the outfits I'm like, oh, this would look so much better with like a thigh tattoo. And so I really want a big thigh tattoo, but they are quite expensive, and so I am saving up for one. Probably gonna get it for my 30th birthday next year. And like as a little present to myself for being a 30-year-old adult who can do whatever they want. Okay, I am very, very pleased with these roots as well. These are quite crazy. They are so rooted. And again, it looks like water roots that have just been plunked in sphagnum for the journey. And I'm gonna rinse these both off really, really quickly just because I wanna make sure as much of the sphagnum is off as possible before I put them into semi-hydro. But I feel like they're gonna be fine. I don't know if I have a pot big enough for that. They're stony eye over there, so we will have to see. I don't have a self-watering pot big enough, definitely, but I suppose I could just put it straight in one of, oh, I've got tea over here, one of these. But I feel like that's probably, it's probably gonna be too small, but I guess it's not a bad thing to do like from the start, like as it's new to like me and my, but like the little calf pot or the like pot where you put the pollen in, I feel like it's a little bit small, so we'll see. Let me wash these ones really, 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 really quick and I'll be back. So I have washed those, and I also pulled out a trellis, another one of my iridescent ones. I'm obsessed with these, and I feel like I put basically only begonias on them at this point because those are the plants that need the most support in my collection. And I was looking, and I think I could go with this one. I could go no drainage maybe, because I have this container that used to have zeolite in it, but I finished the zeolite, and so I feel like I could put it in here with no drainage, and then it wouldn't need support for a minute, and I could put the support in with this little guy here. I feel like that makes the most sense for now. Oh, I was gonna put something else in this originally. I was thinking about putting this fern I have into semi-hydro, but I started to question my judgment on that. Has anyone put like sort of blue star fern vibes into semi-hydro before? I feel like I'm in two minds about it because I feel like it's epiphytic, and so other epiphytic plants I have, like anthuriums and hoyas and my jungle cacti, those work fine in semi-hydro and like are okay with that, but something about it just doesn't quite feel right, so I'm just not gonna do that yet. I actually kind of love the sound of semi-hydro going into glass. It is a really satisfying sound. So let's put those in, and I'm gonna pot them fairly deep just because I can. And also, the fun thing about begonias is that they will root throughout like more of this stem, I believe. So I can just like put them in and they should be fine like that. Sorry, I realize I'm supposed to be answering questions as well. But like, I don't know if my brain has the capacity to do 2 things at once today. I'm gonna keep trying. So, the question I was talking about was, do I want any more tattoos? And the answer is yes, I really want a thigh tattoo, but I'm not sure quite what I want yet. But I do think I want something quite big, like a good chunk of my thigh. Like, I have a couple different ideas, but I'm not sure exactly what would be the best for me. I kind of really want a like snake and dagger tattoo, but I don't know if the thigh is a good spot for that, because does the thigh twist at all? I don't want the knife to look like it's made of rubber. I want it to look like proper. And I've also like thought about potentially getting a whale tattoo. That sounds really weird, but my parents have this like artwork of whale in their home, and it would kind of be memes for me, but I feel like I would get that probably more on my hip than my like the front of my thigh. But I really want one on the front of my thigh because I feel like it would be so cool. Ooh, do I have any more strips at the moment? Okay, I've got like a half one that I'm just gonna have to use because I don't feel like getting scissors. Yeah, those are kind of my 2 main ideas for thigh tattoos, but I'd be open to hearing more. I was like, oh, maybe I get another planty one, but I feel like all of my tattoos are like planty or spacey. And so I don't particularly, not that I don't want to get another one, but I feel like, is it overkill if I get more plant tattoos? It feels like it might be, but at the same time, I could just be overthinking it and it could be absolutely fine. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case, but I feel like that is something that I would do. Overthink a tattoo too much, but I do definitely want some more because I really enjoy having tattoos and they make me happy. And it's a fun way to like express myself. So I will definitely be getting more, but probably not for a little while yet. Probably not for, I guess, like another year at this point. And I don't have a specific artist I have in mind, just because I don't know, all the prices in London are really expensive, and so maybe it'd be cheaper for me to like travel outside of London to go get one. But it depends where it is and how much. It's just so expensive. It's such an expensive thing to have and to get. So it is something I must wait for a little bit longer, I think. Look how cute that is. That's absolutely adorable. And I am quite pleased with this no drainage situation going on here as well. I think that one will work quite well. I should use more of those pots for no drainage situations because I just have like components in them that I never really use. So it might be better to just do no drainage with it, and then I can actually use them in sort of a real capacity. So that covers the things that I got from the swap. I still have so much more that I want to be potting up. The next thing I want to pot up, I was going to do this the other day, but then I decided I didn't want to join it in with my other Cebu Blue. I instead wanted to put this one on a moss pole. This is my Cebu Blue prop where the cuttings already have fenestrations from a sort of young age. That being said though, the like new leaves that are growing in don't, so I really don't know what's going on with that. But I decided I wanted to put this one on a moss pole, so I grabbed myself, or I prepped myself a moss pole earlier just to make sure that it was pre-made for me, because I really hate when I have to like get up and make a moss pole in the middle of a video because it kind of throws off my groove. And if anyone's seen Emperor's New Groove, you don't want to throw off my groove. So when asked what my favorite non-aoid plants are, what's the definition of aoid? Because I feel like philodendrons and monsteras are aoids. Flowering plants, and they have inflorescence with the spadix. So I feel like maybe alocasias are too. Peace lilies, anthuriums, I think alocasias. Okay, so my favorite non-aroids. Scindapsus, are Scindapsus aroids? Okay, so pothos are aroids. What isn't? Are jungle cacti? Okay, no. Epiphyllum are epiphytic plants in the cactus family, so not the Araceae/aroid family. So, sorry, I feel like almost all of my favorite plants are aroids, which does make sense. I'm a very tropical vibes gal, and so it makes sense. But I think jungle cacti, probably the fernleaf cactus, then that is my favorite jungle cactus. I really, really love it. And are Hoyas aroids? If they're not aroids, I feel like they're closer to jungle cacti. If they're not aroids, I should probably know which plants are aroids or not at this point, but I don't really use the term aroids very often, so. Oh, what's my favorite Hoya in a minute? I really like my Polyura now that it's not covered in flat mites. I am really glad that's been sorted. I do, yeah. I feel like my Polyura is one of my favorites. It's one of my biggest. Also my, oh, what's it called? My Cronianas, which bloom freaking constantly. Oh my gosh. Literally, there's so many peduncles on them right now, about ready to like bloom in the next couple weeks. And I'm so excited to watch them, and it smells so good in my room because that plant is just constantly blooming. So that is another Hoya slash potential non-aroid that I really, really love. It's hard because a lot of the plants in my collection are aroids, and I was like, I could do another video. I was actually speaking about this to Cleo the other day, and I know she might do a video like this sometime soon, but I did a video last year, I think it was, where I went through and I talked about my favorite plant of each genus. It's like my favorite Epipremnum, my favorite Alocasia, my favorite Monstera, etc., and went through all of them and talked about those, and that was a really, really fun video for me. And I'm curious to, like, I'll have a look at it and think and see if my tastes have changed at all, or if I've gotten new favorites since last year. I feel like it's possible, but in general, I feel like my tastes don't change that much over the course of a year. Maybe like 5 years down the line, yes, but over the course of a single year, my tastes don't change that much. I feel like this Epipremnum Sable Blue is still my favorite Epipremnum. Sneak peek. But yeah, I don't know if I'll do another one of those videos or not. I did really enjoy filming that one, and it is fun to share like favorites in that capacity because everyone's are different. So it's just a bit of fun. So I'm just trying to get as much moss off these as possible. This one, it's a little wet stick, but it's got a bit of new growth on the top of it. But absolutely no roots, so I think I'll probably end up throwing that away, unfortunately. Oh, maybe that's why these don't have fenestrations in their leaves yet. Oh, okay, these roots are something else. Or are they just attached to each other and that's what's going on? Either way, long roots. But I think it's because all of these are mid-cuts. And so it's having to grow new growth from those growth points, and it's not quite ready to fenestrate on the new growth yet. So that does kind of make sense. But hopefully, once I get it on a pole and potentially sizing up, I can re-get some fenestrations on this pothos. And I'm actually going to save all of this moss because it looks like really good stuff. It actually looks like it's entirely Soil Ninja stuff. And not that I'm running out at the minute, but I don't have loads, so I can reuse this again. And it doesn't, like, none of these plants have pests on them as far as I know, so we good to reuse. Okay, about 1 billion cuttings later. Look at all of those. There's just so many roots in there, which is amazing. I don't know how I'm gonna get all of these in there, but I will. Normally with Sable Blue, I would use Monstera and Philodendron soil, but I still haven't re-upped that since I potted my big Bird of Paradise. I haven't gotten more, so we're gonna be using Anthurium and Orchid. It should be absolutely fine, I think, because as well, this is going on a moss pole, and the plants I have on moss poles, I do try to put a barkier mix in anyways. So I feel like it should be fine. Do this properly with a scoop, it'll be easier. Just got lots of soil in behind the mesh at the bottom there, which I think will be quite useful. And I'm genuinely just going to plonk all of these in. Hopefully in a good order. I mean, it very well could be not in a good order, but I don't think it matters too much at this point in time. I will be strapping them down to the pole anyways, so should be okay. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that these do well in here. I have a feeling they will, but you never know. Ooh, would you ever consider adopting a cat friend for Cleo? Yes, I would freaking love to have a cat friend for Cleo. It is something that we have fairly recently thought about, just because I don't feel like she's lonely per se, but it might be nice for her to have a little brother or sister. And we really like cats. Whenever we're out and about and we see a cat, we're just like, cat! And so I feel like it makes sense. We're just cat people at this point, and having a friend for her would be great. I don't think that this place is necessarily too small for 2 cats, but it probably is a little bit too small. It is not the biggest flat, and we would basically just need to find a place to put a second litter box, which we don't particularly have loads and loads of room. And I know you can get those like multi-cat litter boxes that are self-cleaning, but I'm pretty sure those are like 500 pounds or something silly obnoxious like that. And I can't afford to just get myself a 500-pound litter box. If that litter box company wants to come and sponsor one of my videos and send me a litter box, yes. The answer is yes. Tag them in the comments. I don't know if that actually works. I don't know if I'm big enough to get one of those, but it would be freaking awesome, because then we could potentially have 2 cats and it wouldn't be a problem. I'm actually not gonna strap these down because I think they're fine for now. I just want to make sure that they get settled into this pot, and I bet you they're gonna outgrow this pole very, very quickly. It's not a very big pole, but I can extend it. And for now, this just kind of has to do, because I don't have loads of room for more giant moss poles at the minute. So I was looking at the other things I wanted to do, and I have this Bonia Kracklin Rosie, potentially. I know someone mentioned that it might be something else, but I think it was given to me as a Kracklin Rosie, so that's just the name I'm going to call it until proven otherwise. But I've got this Kracklin Rosie, and I was just thinking how I wanted this one to have the trellis, potentially instead of the Ice Frost, because Ice Frost is like really ditty, and this one is actually already quite a big cutting, so I'm literally just gonna pull the trellis out of there. Because it wasn't, like, I wasn't gonna even clip this one to that one for a little bit. And I can just go straight in here with this one. I should have, like, really considered how I wanted to do this and did, like, all of the semi-hydro ones first, so I have, like, a clean surface to work on. But I have just gone and made things really messy, and whatever, it's fine. Oh, I could do my Mitch Leana along with this one, not obviously in the same pot, but I do want to put this one into semi-hydro. It has gone down to just 2 leaves. I have lost a couple in here, but I think that's just because it was getting quite dry, because it is in soil at the minute, and I didn't want to repot it before I went away. I just feel like I'm going away a lot this summer, and I've been, like, doing so much traveling, so I'm, like, only minorly a little bit exhausted. But I really want to put this one into semi-hydro because I think it would do better like that. And also, I'm pretty sure this is a new leaf since I got it, so hopefully... Oh, yes, yes, it's got freaking thick roots. Yes, okay, this makes me extremely happy. Like, look at those roots. Those are so good. These are gonna absolutely love semi-hydro and are gonna be a lot less sensitive to the change, because my other worry with variegated alocasias, especially since they're, like, ever so slightly more sensitive than normal alocasias, is that when I transition them from soil to semi-hydro, they can sometimes struggle. My variegated fry deck did struggle and completely died off, which really sucked. So hopefully this one doesn't have that sort of same issue, but I feel like these roots are bigger and better, and so are going to be more likely to succeed in this swap. Sorry, I'm just concentrating for a second. Give me a mo. I'm also going to have to rinse these roots in a second, so let me go do that and get them nice and clean, and then we can pop both of these up into semi-hydro, into some fresh stuff. So look how clean these roots are. So freaking pretty. And I don't have anywhere to put this down that's clean. Oh, I also have a bajillion little Alasia Corns that I can pot up, that are rooted and ready. So let's go back to the semi-hydro life and get these things potted safely up. Get these dirt out of the way. It's not clean enough to be by the semi-hydro. I'm gonna get scissors because I need to cut those things. Ta-da. Oh, that was dangerous. I nearly knocked over my whole box of semi-hydro. That would have been a really bad time. Let me just cut this into strips quickly. I don't know why I don't do this, like, all at once, because it would make life so much easier just to have a box full of strips as opposed to having to cut it every time. But I feel like I'm mostly cutting them during videos, and I don't really want to spend loads of time cutting a billion strips in the middle of a video, because that's not what you're here for. Stripped up. Now we can do this. Oh, someone also asked how we picked the name Cleo, and I don't know, I think we both really liked the name, and also, like, so technically Cleo is from Egypt. We adopted her from a shelter called Safe Haven Egypt, and they're in Cairo, and they basically take cats off the street because there's loads of cats just living on the street there, and they're treated really poorly, and it's just a really bad time for all these cats. And so they take a bunch of them in, they have them all in like a single apartment, and then they get them like vaccinated and neutered and spayed and like up to all health codes or whatever, and send them, adopt them out to people throughout the rest of the world. They send cats to the US, Europe, the UK, and that's how we ended up getting Cleo. And Cleo is not short for Cleopatra, but it is also kind of short for Cleopatra. So that's kind of how we view it, like it is and isn't short for Cleopatra. We like to joke that it's short for Cleodora, like instead of Theo being short for Theodore, Cleo is short for Cleodor or Cleodora. And if we get a second cat, we would want to name it Tony, short for Antony, regardless of whether or not it's a boy or a girl, because Antony and Cleopatra are famous lovers, even though I don't want our cats to be lovers. I want them to love each other, but I don't want them to be lovers. Like, we already have a second cat name picked out. That's how seriously we've thought about this, but probably won't be able to get one in the current space. Why did I pot this backwards? So there's a viewpoint, and the little insert doesn't really fit in well the other way. I mean, I guess it's fine. It's fine. Hopefully this will like being in semi-hydro a bit better. Let's do this again. Not that like plants have sides, but that one definitely had a side. A good side. And not a bad side, but a back. It's because I don't rotate my alocasias at all. If you want yours to be well-rounded, you do need to rotate them. But I don't, because I don't really care if they are well-rounded. Okay. Let's try this again. You go there. This is the front of the pot, and so we get the front of the plant like that. Better. And I just need to make sure that I fill these up with water soon. I also don't know where I'm gonna put all of these. I've also pretty much completely stopped doing my one in, one out list. I'm not sure when I stopped, but I need to go back in and start doing it again, because if I've just essentially stopped, which is not good, but it is. Okay, so got that, my Kracklin Rosie. Happy as a clam. Doo-doo. Okay, what, okay, I've got three more things that I want to do, but I need to change my camera battery, so give me one moment. Okay, also the sun has decided to come out, which I'm freaking loving. It's been cloudy / rainy the rest of this week, and it's getting me down, and I just need real life summer, and I feel like we haven't had that this year. It's just been so dismal. So is this crooked? Am I crooked? Is that better? Okay. So I have a bajillion. Oh my goodness, there's so many. Okay, sorry. Every time I open this, there's more springtails in it, which is crazy. I don't know if you can see them in there or not, but there's so many. And you know what? I could just make this the box, because I have so many little alocasias, and I don't actually want to keep all of these. I don't think it makes sense to keep all of these. Because I have a big poly already, so I don't really need them. These, I guess, are just gonna go to someone else. I don't really want to use a self-watering pot if I'm just gonna like give them to someone else though. Maybe I'll just put a bunch into some plastic cups. I brought plastic cups out, yeah. I'll put a bunch into plastic cups, and I can give them away at the next London plant swap. Or I think we're driving up to Hull for the Hull plant swap, so I could potentially bring some up then. Just because I don't need this many alocasia polys. I actually literally don't need any. I was just really terrified that I had forgotten entirely how to propagate alocasias, and so I propagated about 1 billion. Okay, so let us do a bunch, and I'm actually gonna pot them quite low so that they're easier to like transport if needed, like they don't stick up too much. I don't know if this is any good. I feel like the roots on them have all just like gone in funky directions rather than down. Ah! Shoot. I feel like I've done a piss poor job on this, but it's okay, I guess. We will try again. Try again to get these in a not bad way. I'll have 3 entire pots of alocasia bulbs. Come on. I feel like this is definitely not the correct. This is not the correct vessel for this, but I don't really have something that would work better, really. So we're just gonna have to we're just gonna have to do it. And that one. Okay, don't put as much on this time, Emma. It's just like, it doesn't feel correct. But because like, because they're not gonna be my plants. God, that sounds really dickish, but because they're not gonna be my plants, it's like, it'll be fine. And there's like 5 of them in this, so like at least one will work out. Whoa, amazing roots. Amazing roots. And yes, again, I realize I've fully stopped answering any and all questions, but My brain apparently cannot multitask right this second. So, sorry. I had some more like really good ones to answer as well. I'm going to answer them. I will. Let's put these into the shallow puddle. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, I've taken all of the Alasia Corns out of this box. And there's still so many springtails in here. I should probably just take this semi-hydro and put it out on top of some of my plants just to get them good springtail vibes. Because I think they would benefit from that. And these ones that haven't sprouted yet will go into the shallow puddle and hopefully return to goodness. Okay, I have 3 more and none of them are going into semi-hydro. So I can put the semi-hydro away and I can be a dirty little soil girl again. Oh, I don't know why, I just feel like I can't concentrate when I'm doing semi-hydro stuff. It's also pretty loud, and the audio just does not sound great. So, now that those are done, I can actually answer these freaking questions. Oh, someone's asked, how do I feel about watering plants with softened water through a water softener? And she messaged me after and said that she doesn't expect me to know the answer, but she wants to start a discussion in the comments. And I personally don't have any experience with watering plants with softened water. We don't have a water softener here, and I don't really know how they work, so I can't really say. But if you have had experience watering plants with a water softener, put your experience down below in the comments, and that can be like a wealth of knowledge. I'll pin a comment down there that has the like water softening thread. If you do have experience, put your experience underneath that, and it can be down there. But like I said, I really don't know. Oh, someone asked what plant surprised me the most. I think the plant that has surprised me the most is, I think it's begonias. And I know I've been like not shutting up about begonias for ages now, but I feel like I didn't expect to like them as much as I did, especially because of the sort of color profile on them. I'm not the biggest fan of red in plants, but ever since getting begonias and getting into them, I love it so much more now. I don't think I would go out and go get a bunch of red plants per se, but I really don't mind it in begonias. And I don't know, I feel like they're one that has surprised me a lot. My regal has surprised me loads with just how big it gets. Holy freaking cow. I will insert a clip because it's just absolutely huge. The newest leaf on it is over 50 centimeters and it still has not hardened off yet, which is like, that's huge. So that is a constant surprise for me. A negative surprise for me has been Monstera deliciosa, because I have just never really been able to get them to grow as well as I've wanted to, and like everyone says they're super duper easy. I have like, I don't know, I just cannot seem to be getting mine to grow right, and I don't know if it's something that I'm doing wrong or if it's the plants that I'm getting or what. I just haven't been able to succeed with them as much as I would have wanted to. Ooh, if you could trade your collection with anyone else's, whose would it be? Oh, oh, actually I do know. It would probably be, no. I've got a couple options here. So the first ones that come to mind are Claire's, because I love her plants, Johnny's, the bearded plantaholics, because his collection is insane, but then also Sydney Plant Guy, because oh my goodness, the plants he's been able to grow big on moss poles are like mind-blowing. And so I think if I wanted, so this is assuming that I would just get their house in the amount of room that they have as well, because I wouldn't be able to fit their collections in here reasonably. So if I had like unlimited space and I could just have their collection. If I wanted variety, I would probably go for Johnny's because he has so many different plants and a lot of them are growing really, really well. And yeah, but if I wanted to go for size, I would probably go with Sydney Plant Guy. I don't like pay that much attention to his collection. I don't really watch his content, but it was him and the plants he has on moss poles that kind of inspired me to get more into moss poles and try and grow my plants to be big and like size up. So they are very enviable plants, and I don't think I would discount having Claire's collection because I think she also has some really great plants and she's really good at getting her plants to size up as well. I don't understand how. I feel like she's just really, really good at getting her plants to size up, and I don't know if it's because her flat has like really good light or what. My flat in theory has good light, but the windows are not that big. I really wish I could knock out the whole wall where the windows are because it's southwest facing, so like in theory it'd be really, really good. I want to knock out that whole wall and just make it like glazed, and I would be able to have so many plants because they would just do so much better. I could probably live without a chunk of my grow lights. Oh, someone's also asked what my favorite grow lights are. I do have a whole video of a grow light deep dive where I go into all of the lights I have, how much light they produce, like my kind of thoughts on them, so I would recommend going to watch that if you haven't seen it already. But off the bat, I typically say mother grow lights because they're some of my favorites aesthetics wise, strength wise. In the UK, probably Grow Gang or Sansi are my favorites. I really like the vibe of the Soltec ones as well, but I haven't got enough of them to judge them as well as the others. But those are like the main ones that I have in my collection, and I am fans of all of them. I would recommend all of them. I also have discount codes for all of them, which are in that video. So like if you're interested in getting grow lights, go check out that video, and there's discount links to almost all of them in that. Can anthuriums be kept in a living room with 50 to 60% humidity and in natural light? It does depend on the light that you have in your living room. My regal, I will say, is not getting all that much light during the day, especially. Like, it's pretty far back. I don't know if you can barely see the tip of it there. Is that it? I can't really tell in the viewfinder, but it's not getting that much light. You can see it is quite dark in here, and during the day my grow light isn't on. The grow light in front of it is just on in the evenings, and I think that does help boost it. It is like really, really close to that grow light. But that one is growing absolutely fine, just in my average home humidity, which is, I'd say probably around 50 to 60% most of the time. I do live in a very humid home, and I have so many plants that sometimes it might get up to 70, but I'm pretty sure this area is in the 50 to 60% range. So absolutely they can. I think it's just a matter of making sure that they're getting not necessarily enough light. You don't want to give them too much light, and mine, I don't know if the spots I have on mine are sunburn or what, but if mine can live in my living room with nothing like added or extra special, then yours probably can as well. Someone's asked what my favorite place I've ever visited on a trip was, and that's a difficult one because I feel like I travel simultaneously a lot and not very much. I haven't been to that many places throughout the world, but like the first place that comes to mind is Zion in Utah in the States. It's one of my like happy places for camping. I absolutely love the hikes in Zion, as well as the Narrows in Zion is so cool. I really, really loved the Narrow hike. You're hiking basically in a river in a slot canyon, which is so freaking cool. Just finished taking the Penatolobum, I think this one is called, out of the moss that it was in. And this one has grown so many leaves since I traded it with Claire. It's doing so well. And I'm just gonna put this one into some soil. Yeah, I think the rest of the things I'm doing are soil things. So I don't think this one needs a particularly big pot. but I'm kind of tempted to put it in this one because it will get bigger. I don't think it looks proportional now, but I do think it will grow into it. In my non-professional opinion, it'll probably grow into it. So, let's pop that. Oh my gosh. Potting in soil is also so easy. And again, this is Anthurium and orchid soil, even though it's a philodendron. I don't have any other options. That's just gonna have to be what it is. And then the last, I've got 2 more. Okay, so this one is looking very, very sad at the minute, and I also have some propagations which are also looking kind of sad. But this is one of my variegated lipstick plants that is not necessarily living its best life in here. And I don't know kind of what I've done wrong with it, but then I also tried to chop and prop it, and these propagations also just like haven't propped. And Lossie, who gave them to me, says that she just puts them straight in the soil, and so that is what I'm going to do now. I'm gonna dig myself a little hole in here and put them straight into the soil and hope that they prop. And I probably do need to keep this soil more moist than I am currently. This one almost looks like it's not even worth. Is that even worth putting in? Probably not. I'm not going to. Yeah, the leaves are just falling straight off, so that's fine. But it is looking a wee bit sad in here, and I don't know what I have done wrong. Maybe I'll put it in a different location. I'll move it. I could move it to by where, oh, well, that's not gonna work. I could move it to by where, like in my little acre bar, where my other variegated lipstick plant is, which is doing really well, and I need to actually take that one out of that cabinet because it's gotten too big for the space, so I will do that. Just topping this one up with soil because it was a little bit low, and we can hope that that one goes in. And then the last one that I have is a pot upsize for my Black Pagoda lipstick plant, which has grown insanely. It's gotten too big for its britches and is desperately in need of a pot, a bigger size up. So we can do that. And I'm not even gonna like take the soil off these roots because I don't think it necessarily even needs that. I'm just gonna pull it out. Look at those. Pull it out. It's also extremely dry. It needs a water. Whoops. Pull it out. Put it in and get this soil packed around the edges. And then I can answer one last question while I do that. Will I be downsizing my collection to let my bigger plants or my plants grow bigger? And I kind of have. I've been spending quite a lot of time this year downsizing. I say a lot of time. I spent the beginning of this year downsizing. I've kind of stopped downsizing because it's summertime now. I'm enjoying getting more plants a little bit and trying to I know that's bad, but it is really fun to get new plants, and so I have been getting more plants. But I did like get rid of a huge chunk of my collection in sort of the winter and spring of this year, just because I had definitely more than I needed, and it was definitely some that I wasn't loving as much as I could have, and so I would rather give them to good homes. But I suppose if my collection keeps growing, I'm gonna have to downsize. That's one of the difficult things about this hobby in particular, is if we do our jobs well, if we do our hobbies well, it grows. It's not like collecting stamps where like you can kind of have a book and you can just put more stamps in the book, or like maybe buy a second book if you run out of zones in your first stamp book. With plants, you like, they do get bigger, and so it's a little bit more difficult to deal with, and so I'll probably have to downsize some more at some point, but as of right now, I feel like I'm in a good place with my plants, and there's definitely some spots where I have space at the minute, which is a good thing. I enjoy having space in my collection and having room for more things. So yeah, that is where we finish this video. I have repotted all of the bajillion things that I wanted to repot. I feel like this table was empty at one point, and now it's just full of fun new things. And I just need to spend some time watering them and getting them sorted in their new positions. I need to figure out where I'm going to put this, because before it was in my window, and it doesn't fit in that little disco ball planter anymore, so I'm going to have to find a different spot for it. But I think it liked the window, so I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I've got to figure out where all of these are going to go. Anyways, that is it for this video. Before I sign off though, I want to say a huge thank you to @mindfullygrowing for joining in, my good growing fam over on Patreon. If anyone else is interested in joining over there, it is £3 or $4.50-ish per month, and you get everything for that price, including bonus content like live chats, access to our Discord server, and all that sort of fun stuff. I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently, but it's there if you want it, and no pressure if you don't, but it's a bit of fun and I enjoy it. So thanks Mindfully Growing for joining in. And to the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future. If you enjoyed this sort of long repot and chat style video, let me know. And I'd like to hear your answers to these questions as well, because it's just a bit of fun. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video, and don't forget to keep growing. Bye!